Hello, I am LaShayna Sawyers, and I am your host for this season of Kaleidoscope. It has been a long break, and I have really missed the viewers. And are you ready for an exciting, fun, and engaging season this semester? Well, today we have Gregory Corradine, Amanda Hogg, and Megan Boone, who will be discussing their job positions here at Morehead State University. Gregory and Amanda will be coming from Enrollment Services, and Megan Boone will be coming from Career Services. Please tune back in after this commercial break. See you then.
Hello, I'm Eric Thomas, Director of the Star Theater here at Morehead State University, and I'd like to invite you to come out and join us for some of the great programs we offer in the Star Theater. Our programs are both educational, with planetarium programs, and entertaining, with laser shows that feature artists such as Elton John all the way out to Metallica. So come join us at the Star Theater, located in the Space Science Center here on the campus of Morehead State University. And if you've got questions, go online to moreheadstate.edu/startheater.
Hello, and we're back. And with me, I have Gregory Corradine. How are you today, Gregory?
I'm doing good. And you, LaShayna?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Could you please tell us what your position here is in Enrollment Services at Morehead State?
I am an Enrollment Service Counselor for Diversity, meaning that I recruit in Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati. I recruit all students, but an emphasis on minority students especially.
Isn't it awesome that you used to attend Morehead State University and now you are a faculty member of Morehead State University?
Definitely. It's definitely a great thing for me. It actually makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to pretend to like the university. I graduated from here, undergrad, master's. I have a knowledge of coming from a student's perspective and also a professional member perspective as well. So I'm very well versed when it comes to communicating with students.
So could you tell us a little bit about your job at Enrollment Services?
And mostly what we do is we go out to schools, recruit, communicate with different students, basically trying to tell them all the great things that Morehead does have to offer for them, making sure that they know they have a strong support system for students while they are here on campus. So mainly just reaching out to those students, traveling to those different high schools, trying to get them to attend Morehead State University.
So your job involves recruitment. So is there a recruitment goal that you're trying to reach every semester or every freshman intake? Yes,
definitely. There is a goal. There's a number that's set by our director. She lets us know exactly how many students she wants from each school, and we are striving to hit those numbers at every single with every single recruitment trip that we do take. We do have that in mind before the year is. Before the year starts, we actually get those goals set in stone, and we say, okay, this is where we actually need to hit.
Does your job have any challenges, like as far as hitting the recruitment goal, or just trying to, take the extra step to tell students this is a better university or you should come to this university? Do you have any problems in that area?
There are challenges that I face every now and again, especially when you're traveling out on the road and you're competing against UK and U of L, some of those larger schools. You kind of have to let the students know, hey, Morehead is a great school as well. They may not have heard from us. For most of the time, you typically get that the further you travel west, when you go out to Louisville and tour that way. But that's the challenge that we definitely face. Also, scholarships changing and different things like that. Those are snags that we hit in the road every now and again. But we always seem to bounce back from those.
Do you ever travel outside of Kentucky?
Yes, I recruit in Cincinnati mostly, so I visit Cincinnati frequently, and that's actually where I'm from. So I love to go up there and speak with the students, share my perspective coming from Cincinnati specifically with them. Kind of helps me relate a little better.
All right, and do you have any other departments of the university that helps you or make your job a little bit easier as far as recruiting?
Definitely. All the departments. We utilize every single last one of them, all the academic departments. Once we get the students here, I make sure I make calls out to academic departments, career services. They help a lot as well. Academic advising, I make sure I reach out to them just so the students can know, hey, you do have different places where you can go introduce them to them, so when they actually enroll as freshmen, they have those places of contact once they come back.
And is there any research that your department or you individually have to do in order to know, like, what recruitment goal I need to reach, what target area are we going for? what is a better way to get students here? Is there any type of research that you have to do?
Yes, there's definitely. A lot of that, though, is provided by our director of the department, Holly Pollock, but also we attend conferences to where we keep up with different things that are going on, other things that universities are doing, try to keep up with them and keep up with the Jones as much as possible. But there are conferences that we attend. We're also keeping up with what everybody else is doing, just so we can make sure that we aren't lagging behind in any aspect.
And I feel like Enrollment Services is doing a great job with getting students here, and more specifically, your target audience is getting students here as well. But does it stop there? Do you stay with those students, like try to keep them engaged, or how's the retention level of getting the students here, but making sure that they graduate as well?
And retention is very important. We make sure that we are a part of that as well. We actually, all of us enrollment service counselors, we have students that we recruit. They come here and they pretty much stay attached to us the entire time they are here. We're involved in different organizations, specifically me with Get Smart. We're getting that actually started back up, the Minority Ambassador Recruitment Team. I'm also associated with Dreams and Men, which is a male empowerment network. And it's a mentoring program that we have for African American men here. So there's a lot of organizations that we also get involved with, just so we can keep a tabs on retention and making sure the students are getting the help that we need. Because we don't want to sell them false dreams to say, hey, we have all these great things, then we get them here and we disappear. We want to make sure we follow through on those things.
And as you said earlier, your job focused more on kind of getting minority students to come to the university. What things or activities or things you have to do differently than the other counselors in your department?
You actually have to speak to them a little different, especially when you travel out to the schools. And there's certain times when we do presentations typically for all students that visit campus. But if you go into a school and you're recruiting specifically minority students, they may not, that PowerPoint presentation may not keep their interest. So you have to approach them different. You have to speak to them in different ways depending on the group. And you can actually get a feel for what you have to do before you go in there. I would definitely suggest don't go in pre-plan and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
You definitely need to make sure that you can switch it up and kind of, okay, I'll cut this PowerPoint off and let me just talk to them back and forth, just have a conversation.
All right, and I'd like to go in a little bit more. You talked about Get Smart earlier, which was an organization that I was a part of that I felt was very beneficial to the new students or even potential students. So what's going on with that to getting it back and running and to its full potential?
We're actually having our first meeting February 18th. We got everything back up and running. We're about to put the application up online for students to go and apply again. So if you are interested, definitely suggest you put in an application. But with this, and SMART is an acronym for Student Minority Ambassador Recruitment Team. And what we do is we train these students to actually help us recruit minority students here on campus, because it's very hard once you go out there, you get students here that are minorities. They don't see any other minorities on campus. So we actually have a team of students that we train that help us with those campus tours. So that's very, very beneficial to the university.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show today. Please stay tuned. Next, we have Amanda Hogg from Enrollment Services. Thank you.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
It kind of makes you wanna...
Breaking the song?
Yup. I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest. I love when eagles play.
I love the campus!
And all its sights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
We love diversity. I love English.
And all its weird words.
I love the music.
And all its melodies. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes.
I love Moorhead.
It's such a pretty place.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
Hello, and we're back. And with me I have Amanda Hogg from Enrollment Services. Hello, Amanda.
How are you?
Good. We're glad to have you on the show
I'm glad
today.
to be here.
Could you tell us a little bit about your position at, in Enrollment Services?
Yes, I am one of the admission counselors in the Enrollment Services office, and I travel to high schools in this. I have Northeastern Kentucky and then Southeastern Ohio. So I travel to high schools in those areas to talk to seniors and juniors who are interested in the university.
So I know that you and Gregory are in the same department, but could you kind of specify what makes you and his job different?
He has a focus on our diversity area, so he'll work with some of the minority students. I'll work with some in my area, and then he'll help me help recruit those. But I will go to the high schools that's specifically in my area and go and talk to them. College fairs, go in and do presentations, different things like that.
So basically, you're like the eye of the campus, outside the campus,
Yes.
going and trying to go to those different schools and get students to come here.
Yes.
Is there any challenges that you have with this job, traveling or going to the students or things like that?
Some of the challenges that you might see when you go into the schools are the students, they don't or they're like, oh, I don't want to go to Moorhead, but you need to get them here. Like, they need to see the campus, because once they do, they fall in love with it. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we face.
We really do have a love of campus, because I remember my first time coming to the campus, I was like, wow, this school is really beautiful. It really has that homey feeling to it. And just as I asked Greg earlier, are there any departments that you have to rely on to do your job better?
We work with all departments on campus. We try to stay up to date on the different departments as far as majors are concerned. And even in the summer, when we're not out recruiting in the schools during the summer session, we will go and meet with them to get up to date information so we can make sure we're relaying all of that to the students. They also travel with us to meet MSU nights. They'll come to open house, and they'll just help us out at those events.
So how does Enrollment Services, once you get the students here, how do you get them to graduate, or, the retention level? Does Enrollment Services focus on that as well?
We don't specifically focus on retention, but more so admissions. But I know I'm involved with the Dreams program, and when the students are coming in, we tell them the information in regards to what we have available here for retention. So we'll let them know about tutoring services in case that's something that they need, and different things like that, so they are aware that we do have those available for them.
All right. And are there any are there any major events that Enrollment Services will put on?
Yes, we do have open house events. Our next open house event is actually March 7th. It's a Saturday. And so we'll have prospective students come to campus, and they'll get to see the campus by taking a tour. They'll talk to their departments that they're interested in. And then we'll also have Meet MSU events throughout the fall semester.
What changes would you like to see at MSU, especially with Enrollment Services?
I would like to be able to have the opportunity to bring more students to campus, like for us to help them get here. Because like I mentioned earlier, for them to see campus, like that's a huge thing, because once they see it, they'll fall in love with it. But being able to have the opportunity to bring them here to show them everything, that would be a great, in case the school doesn't have the opportunity or if they can't come on their own.
And how long have you been with Enrollment Services?
I have been in this position since 2013.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we thank you for coming on the show. I hope that all your goals are met with Enrollment Services, and I love to see the growth. The class sizes have gotten so much bigger each year, so I'm just so excited for that. And thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on the show. After this commercial break, we will have Megan Boone from the Career Services. Please stay tuned. Does the organization?
That sounds good.
Hello, and we're back with Megan Boone. Megan Boone, could you tell us about your position at Career Services?
Yeah, I kind of wear a couple of different hats. I serve as a career counselor, so helping students decide on a major, prepare their resumes, prepare for interviews, really anything you'd be using to market yourself to an employer or graduate program. So that's kind of one side of what I do. And then the other hat I wear is I'm our employer relations person. So I work with any of the employers, any of the graduate programs that are coming to campus to recruit our students. So it's fun.
You always do so much. I always see you from my freshman year giving presentations, different workshops, and you really have a passion for your job, and that really speaks out. And is there any like goal that the Career Services hopes to reach? Because I see that passion, that flame, like we are here to help you, and I think students really enjoy that about Career Services.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you see that. I think that one of my personal passions is trying to reach students earlier on in their college career. If I can talk to the freshmen and the sophomores, if they can be planning and be purposeful about what their goals are when they graduate, they're going to be more successful. So one of our big initiatives and goals right now is getting more students engaged in the internship program so that they graduate not only with a great academic background, but they have some real world work experience coming out. I mean, that's really important to be competitive.
All right. After these commercial breaks, Megan Boone will talk about different events that Career Services will be putting on. See you after these commercial breaks. And we're back with Megan Boone from Career Services. And could you tell us a little bit about, or explain to us the different events that Career Services is going to be putting on this semester?
Sure. We've got a couple of our biggest events coming up. Actually, next week is going to be our Resume Blitz event. That's on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's both days from 10 to 2 on the second floor of ADUC. And that's designed, we actually have employer volunteers coming in to look over students' resumes. So no appointment needed, just drop by, come as you are, just bring a copy of your resume, and one of the employers will sit down with you one-on-one, go over the resume, offer advice for improving it.
If a student wants to ask you, what's the difference of me just popping up in the office and having my resume looked at, vice versa than me coming to the Resume Blitz, what would you inform them?
Yeah, I would say both are good. Definitely have somebody look at your resume, and the more opinions you get on it, the better, I think. But the nice thing about going to the Resume Blitz is not only do you get a chance to have an employer who looks at resumes on a regular basis and makes hiring decisions on a regular basis, but you get that opportunity to make a connection with an employer. And I've certainly seen students that have come to the Resume Blitz, talked to that employer, the employer said, hey, why don't you make these changes and send me your resume? We might be able to, consider you for an internship or a full-time job. So it's really about networking, making those connections, as well as getting the advice on the resume.
And are there any other events that's coming up this semester with Career Services?
Yeah, we kind of do our Resume Blitz as a lead-in event to the career fair.
Oh, okay.
That's our big event for the semester. It's going to be Tuesday, March 3rd. It's from 10 until 1 on the 3rd floor of the Adrian Doran University Center. And it is 70-plus organizations, so it's a mix of employers and graduate programs that are coming here to campus to recruit our students. It's a great opportunity for students to make some face-to-face connections, to get an opportunity to ask questions. So if I'm talking to a freshman or sophomore that's maybe trying to decide what they want to do or what experiences they need to get, I'd tell them, come to the career fair. ask some questions of the employers that are there, kind of ask, what do you wish you had known when you were in my shoes? I'm thinking about this major. Do you hire this major within your corporation?
And I know the career fair, it happens every year, but now you've been doing like some incentives with the career fair. Could you tell our viewers about that as well?
Yeah, we're doing a couple of different contests around the career fair. One is if you're professionally dressed, and so we need putting on a suit jacket, and a full suit's even better. If students don't have one and need one, we have the free suit bank in the Career Center.
And please take advantage of that.
Yes, it's a great resource. We've got a lot of really good stuff now. We've had a lot of donations come in. But if they're dressed professionally, they get entered to win an iPad mini.
Oh, okay.
And then we're doing a contest around the student organizations, because one of the things that we hear from employers is that they want students who are involved and active on campus, that are leaders and those sorts of things. So the student org that has the most members come will earn $250 for the organization. And then 5 organizations that have the highest percentage of their members, because we know some organizations are a little bit smaller, they get $100 for the student organization.
And I think it's awesome that you all do that for organizations, because many times individuals that are involved in an organization, they have that drive to go out and go forth. And there are many students who are in so many organizations, and they can't squeeze them all on their resume. What advice would you give them?
When you're working on your resume, I always say to think about what's most relevant for the direction you want to go with your career. So you might even, let's say you, for instance, if you're interested in being an anchor, but then maybe you're looking at some sales positions as well, I tell you, maybe 2 different versions of your resume, playing up different involvement and different experiences. So you don't just have to have one resume, but you do want to be thinking about what's most relevant. And so that's why we tell you, when you're getting ready to come to the career fair, make sure you research the organizations that are going to be there ahead of time. You can see that whole list on our website. It's just moorheadstate.edu/career, and get a sense of who's going to be there, what they're looking for. We'll kind of put the major they say they're recruiting, whether they're looking for full-time employees, interns, or if it's a graduate school trying to share information. So doing that research and knowing your audience really helps you with your resume.
I'm so glad that you said that it's okay to have 2 resumes, because I know so many people who struggle trying to figure out what to put on their resume. And then many times, a lot of us in school have that backup plan. Well, this is what I want to do.
Right.
In case this doesn't work, or while I'm working on that, I want to do this. And I think that's very very, very important that students know that it's okay to have 2 resumes for job placing.
Yeah, and you make a good point. I think most students don't think of that. They're trying to just have one document. And you've got to think about a resume. It's a marketing document. You're just trying to put your best foot forward, and what your best foot is differs depending on what your goals are. So have a couple versions. That's okay.
So does Career Service have goals that they would like to reach?
We don't have, goals like enrollment services, a certain number of students that we have to see and that sort of thing. As I mentioned earlier, it's more, how do we get the message out to students across campus? So we're trying to do more things where we're outside of our building even. We do things in ADUC because there's a lot of student traffic there. So just trying to increase the exposure of career services. And I appreciate you having me on the show. I mean, it's a great way to get the word out about what we do.
Because I think it's very important that people utilize the resources that we have on campus. So many students like, well, I don't know what to wear to interview. Right. We have it here for free, clothes that you can pick out, and I don't know what I want to do. And Career Services offers that test that you can take. And schools I know that's even in Kentucky charge $20 to even $30 to take a test to see what you want to do. So it's very important that they utilize that resource. And if there was any word of advice that you can give a student that's struggling as far as figuring out what they want to do or what choices to take to further their career after college, what would you tell them?
I think the biggest is what you just said. Take advantage of the resources available to you here on campus. Call us in the Career Center. We're here to help you decide on a major. Or if you know what your major is, maybe you love philosophy, it's kind of one of those majors I think sometimes gets made fun of.
Yeah.
Come see us. We can help you figure out what you can do with that particular major, help you develop a plan so that you will be successful when you graduate, that you won't be like some of those seniors I see that come in April, May, and haven't really thought about what they're going to be doing a month from now.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show, Megan. Please visit the Career Center. There's so much to offer. If you need a suit for your first interview, if you need your resume looked over, they have the Resume Blitz coming up next week. So just please take advantage of these resources, and we'll see you right after this commercial break. Thank you.
Final Pulse is solely the work of John Dunaway, Sam Bell, and Robert Adams, and does not necessarily reflect the views of Morehead State University.
Oh, there they are. Perfect.
Here at Provisions on Demand, we have everything you need right here on campus. We are open anytime you need to stop by. Conveniently located on the lobby floor of Alumni Tower.
Hello, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed our guests that we had on the show today and that you really take advantage of those resources. But as many of you know, it is February and it is Black History Month. And our campus is doing a lot to celebrate the history of our ancestors. Coming up this week on Friday at 6 p.m. in Reed 419, we will have Family Feud, a Black History version. So please sign up for teams. Come down to Reed 419 Friday at 6 o'clock and just, show what you know as far as your history. Also, the Social Justice Conference Drive-In will start February 20th, and we will have Jasmine Redd, which is Trayvon Martin's attorney, and also a representative from the Emmett Till Foundation that will be speaking. And later on that evening at 6 p.m., we'll be watching Dear White People. So please come out, join us. There will be food, fun, and great workshops to help with our social justice at Morehead State University. We'll be back right after these commercial breaks. Thank you.
Director of the Star Theater here at Morehead State University. And I'd like to invite you to come out and join us for some of the great programs we offer in the Star Theater. Our programs are both educational, with planetarium programs, and entertaining, with laser shows that feature artists such as Elton John all the way out to Metallica. So come join us at the Star Theater, located in the Space Science Center here on the campus of Morehead State University. And if you've got questions, go online to moreheadstate.edu/startheater.
Well, our show has come to an end. We thank you everyone who watched the show. We'll see you next month, 5:30 on Wednesday for Kaleidoscope, where we will be having different members of different sororities to celebrate Women's Month. See you next time.